Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Xiaomi Pro 2. So after sending the Xiaomi Pro back because of its poor performance and some of the safety issues I had with it, I decided to buy another scooter because I do need to get back and forth to work, and having the electric scooter is the cheapest and easiest way. I ended up going for the Xiaomi Pro 2 out of the 3 scooters that Xiaomi do. So what we'll do today is we'll go over the scooter, review it. We'll do the video in sections like last time, so we'll have performance, build and quality, things like that. We'll talk about the accessories that I put on this scooter, very similar to the ones on the Xiaomi Pro. We'll also talk about where you can buy the scooter in the UK, the best places to buy so you don't get scammed, customer service, things like that as well. We'll touch on in that section, and then we'll go straight into the conclusion. So let's get started. Okay, so the company claims that the Pro 2 can do a max range of 80 miles, which is about 27 kilometers. I have not tested the range on the scooter in the full speed mode, but I have tested it in one of the slower modes, and when I was in the slowest mode I got a maximum of 15 miles, the same as I had with the Xiaomi Pro, which is a very good range, but it's not as much as they claim, and keeping in mind this was in the slowest mode, going around about 10 miles an hour on average. The build quality of the scooter is absolutely excellent. It is a really well built scooter, it's solid, and you can tell the quality difference between the Xiaomi Pro and the Xiaomi Pro 2. You can tell that Xiaomi have put a lot more effort and using higher quality materials. I mean, as soon as you stand on the scooter, it's pretty much like a tank. I mean, I've been riding it for 2 months now and haven't had any noticeable problems except for small adjustments like the brake and things like that. But we'll touch on that in a minute. The performance is very good, so it is actually slower than the Xiaomi Pro out of the box. So out of the box it's configured as 15.5 miles an hour, and that's in the sport mode. The scooter does come with 3 different modes. It's got the slow mode, which I believe does about 5 miles an hour, eco, which does about 10, and then sport does about 15.5. I haven't actually tested it mainly in these modes because as soon as I got the scooter I did speed hack it up to 20 miles an hour, so it did match the Xiaomi Pro, because I felt like the 15.5 mile an hour speed limit was slightly too slow, and it was slightly too slow for my taste. So I did speed hack it up, and if you wanted me to make a video on how to do it, then I'm happy to do so. I found it quite hard to find a video that actually explained it quite well, so I might do a video. So the quality of the scooter is really good. So like I said, it's got a max range of 80 miles. I tested 15, a max speed of 15.5 miles an hour. The quality and build's really good. Other noticeable features are the disc brakes on the scooter. So the scooter does come with disc brakes and then an electronic front brake, which are much better than the ones on the Xiaomi Pro. It also comes with a kickstand, the 3 different modes, a colour display. It also comes with front and rear lights, and the rear light does flash when you're slowing down and when you're putting on the brakes, which is really good. And then we've also got the folding mechanism as well, which is much higher quality than the Xiaomi Pro. I didn't have any problems at all with the folding mechanism as of yet. Keeping in mind I've only had the scooter for 2 months, about 2 months. But I have been using it daily and it hasn't loosened off yet, but I will make a review in a year going over, and we'll have a look if the mount has loosened off, the folding mechanism has loosened off then. So that's the performance, build quality and all of that on the scooter. So let's move on to the accessories that I have fitted to mine. Okay, so I've got 2 main accessories. I've got a phone mount and a handlebar hook. So it is actually more of a stem hook, but it goes onto the bolts that keep the handlebars on. The phone mount is the same one that I had on the Xiaomi Pro, and I'll link it in the description if you did want to buy it. It is a really, really good phone mount, and I would recommend it for scooters mainly, but I'm sure it would also be good for mountain bikes, things like that, although I haven't tested it on a mountain bike. And then I've also got the bag hook as well, which is really, really handy when I'm going into work and I need a place to store my backpack. I usually just leave it on the hook so all of my things are in one place, which is really good. So it's also got that. Another accessory I did buy, well, it is an accessory, but it's not. But I did buy some puncture prevention fluid. So basically what this does is if you get a nail through the tyre, it will plug the tyre with fluid, and it basically dries up as soon as it goes through the hole, and that is to prevent punctures, because this scooter does have pneumatic tyres, which means that they are air filled. So that was another thing that I did add on. Now I did have to add it on after the fact, but if you did want to buy the scooter, I do know a company here in the UK that does put that in for you if that is what you were looking for, but we'll get into that and I'll show you where to buy it in the next section. Okay, so let's move on. What we'll do is I'll just speak about the pneumatic, so the air-filled tyres versus solid tyres like I had on my last scooter, and then we'll go into where you can buy it. Okay, so in terms of the tyres, I haven't had a puncture yet. They're very grippy and they're actually a much more comfortable ride than the solid tyres that I did have on my Xiaomi Pro scooter. So there are benefits and drawbacks. So with these solid tyres, there are drawbacks in terms of the ride quality and grip, but with the air-filled tyres you get a nicer ride quality, but you do have the risk of having a puncture, which can be annoying, and these are very hard to change if you don't have the correct tools and knowledge to do it. And even if you did have the correct tools and knowledge, they are still very hard to change. So with the solid tyres, might not be as comfortable to ride, but you don't have to worry about punctures. And with the air-filled tyres, you have to worry about punctures, but it's a much nicer ride. You get more grip and you can corner much easier as well, things like that. So the handling of the scooter is overall much better. Okay, so let's move on to where you can buy the scooter. Okay, so if we jump onto Halfords quickly, this is a retailer in the UK of the Xiaomi scooters. You can see that there are 3 different models. We have the Essential, the 1S and the Pro 2. You can also buy the scooters from Amazon. Another really good place to buy it is from Pure Electric. I'll link Halfords and Pure Electric down in the description. Both have their merits in terms of customer service, things like that. So when you go on Halfords, usually you can get the scooter slightly quicker if you buy it from Halfords, but if you were to go through Pure Electric, you can get it with puncture prevention fluid, which is really quite good because you don't have to worry about punctures then, or installing the prevention fluid yourself. In terms of the customer service from Xiaomi, I haven't actually had to go to the customer services yet to ask them about any problems with the scooter because I haven't had any. The only thing I will note is the brake will need adjusting as the cable will stretch in, so you will realise that the brake is slightly worse after using it for a few weeks because the cables do stretch. So that is something to keep in mind, and make sure that you actually adjust the brake after a couple of weeks, otherwise it won't be performing as good as it should be. So otherwise I've had no noticeable problems and haven't had to go to the customer services. In terms of Xiaomi as a company, I have heard that their customer service isn't nearly as good as what Xiaomi Pro offer. So if you are buying the scooter just for the customer service aspect of it, then you might want to look at other companies. But again, I haven't had any personal experience with the customer services, so I can really comment from experience just off what I've heard. Okay, so let's move on to the conclusion and if you should buy the scooter. Okay, so should you buy the scooter? I would say if you have the money, yes. The scooter does retail for £600 here in the UK, although at the moment it is on sale for around about £500. It is a very high quality scooter. The speed, although a bit lackluster, is made to keep the scooter and the ride safe and the rider safe. The range is very, very good, especially for a scooter at this low price point. And if you're looking for a cheap alternative to, let's say, an electric bike, which usually would start at £1,000 for a good one, I would definitely recommend this scooter. I wouldn't buy the Essential or 1S. I have actually had some personal experience with these scooters, and I would say the build quality on the Essential scooter from Xiaomi and the 1S from Xiaomi are much worse in comparison with the Pro 2. That's just my opinion, but if you're a lighter rider, or you don't have to carry as much, or you're not using the scooter, or you have to carry the scooter in the folded position, then maybe those would be a better option for you. Okay, so thank you for watching. If you could subscribe to the channel, I'm going to do some more videos like this. I'm also going to publish a video about how to speed hack the scooter, adjust the brakes, things like that. So if you could subscribe, like, and comment if you have any questions, that'd be great. Thank you all for watching, and have a good day.